Hi everyone, thanks for checking in today. I just wanted to review some of the things we covered and make sure that I addressed all of the needs. First, I wanted to go over linking and cover the 3 ways to link. I know the third way was we fell short on time, so I'm going to review that as well. And then I got some more information on background colors, so we'll be adding that as well. So first you're going to go to hempsteadschools.org. And business as usual, you're going to go ahead up and sign in. Remember, email, you do need the full email address, but however, when you're signing in under to address your web pages, you're going to sign in and you're going to take off everything behind that @ sign. So while you might think this makes sense, you have to back up everything after the @ sign. And then of course, your password. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Some of you are still having issues with passwords. I would recommend that you reach out to Ms. Cullum. I don't have accessibility to reset passwords, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and go to schools. Oh, absolutely have to go to Site Manager. And then we're going to find Barack Obama and Teacher Pages. Your menu systems is a little different from mine. That's why sometimes we are not familiar with what's going on the screen, because your pages appear differently than mine. So just keep that in mind as we're going through, but the process does not change. The process does not change. You're going to go to Teacher Pages and you're going to find your name. So I'm going to go to Randazzo and revisit the playground. These are set aside for the trainings each week when I'm doing Teacher Pages, so that I don't mess up or mess around with anyone's page, including my own. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to Playground. Actually, I'm going to inactivate that one. That's an old one. We're going to go here and we're going to go back to and revisit that content app. That app actually is on your screen, looks a little different, but it's still the same idea that you have a little box with a pencil, and that pencil means edit. Okay. Shout out to good questions today. Ms. Moran had a great question on embedding. I was able to figure it out by looking at the picture. So now we are familiar with link, image, uploading files, embedding videos, and of course our font tools, which I say remain with the feather, and your color palette. Okay, so we're adding on and we're getting better each day. And of course your center tool. All right, so we're going to address 3 ways to link. I'm going to start with text. And I'm going to bring in my plans. I'm going to select that because I want to change the color of my text. And we all know that our pages need to be updated to reflect our Memorial Day weekend and what we want to have the students be doing, even though despite they have the time off, we do want to engage them in activities. So I'm going to go ahead and grow that text, make it a little bit larger. And I'm going to put click here. Okay, so this is how we link text. I'm going to tell the machine, think about it, I want something under here, so I'm going to select it because the machine doesn't know what I want unless I tell it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and upload my files, browse, okay, documents, wherever you save your things is where you're going. Being a little frisky today. I'm just going to scroll down and find it on my own. Obviously, it does not want to find it. So there you go. Apologize for that. We're going to continue. And I already told it that I wanted to say click here. So the students know when they click here, they're going to see my plans. All right, and there it is. Memorial Day plans, click here. You're telling them there's something under here. You just linked it to text, your files to text. Nothing to do with the linking tool. That's for hyperlinking when you go out to the internet, which I'm going to show you next, which I believe we covered, but I'll review it. So here you go. We're going to save it. I tend to go back here and back to my page because I do not like the preview. I still feel it's a little off and distorted from what I see in real time. So I usually go and refresh my page and I go right back to the teacher pages. I just like to see what the kids are seeing, and the preview tool is a really condensed view. So playground. And there it is. Okay. You might want to make your text a little bigger by selecting it and going back to that feather, as we spoke about before. And you click here, and there's your plans. Okay. And my plans just happen to be copies of scaffolded lessons, grades 1 through 6. And I have different assignments for different grade levels. All right. And they retrieve my lessons a little differently, but I'm just showing you how to put up a basic lesson plan outline of what you're doing to engage the students over the weekend. I'm going to go back, save that one more time because, you know, better safe than sorry. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put grades 3 through 6 activities. That means these are my plans, but these are your activities. So this is kind of taking that differentiated learning and telling grades 3 through 6, this is what part of this you're going to be doing. And then I'll go to the lower grades and address 1 and 2. Okay. So for this one, I want them to go out onto a website. And that website happens to be BrainPop. My students have credentials from my website that they use when they go onto my lessons to sign in. And that's from my Padlet. I've been using that since September. So you may just want to connect to something in BrainPop. I'm going to go ahead and sign out so you can see that there's 2 ways for the students to sign on. Okay? When they click login, I would stick with Clever because each one has their username and password already available to them, and they already know that from signing in at school, from using iReady, and whatever other programs they use through Clever. So I wouldn't give them an additional set of credentials to sign on, but in the event that you all want to use BrainPop on your own, we have an account, Barack Obama, and the password is BrainPop. We're going to go ahead and log in. And now what I want the students to be able to do is when they tap on that link, they are able to view my video. Okay. So essentially, I want them to get to this link, log on. So that's what they're going to do. At least I'm getting them to the site. Okay. You might just want a link to BrainPop and then give them a set of instructions to sign on with their Clever accounts. However you want to manage that is totally up to you. I'm just trying to give you some different ideas on how you want to approach your page. Okay, we're going to go back to the page. And this time, I want them to watch your video here. Okay, so I'm going to link. And maybe I want that link to be a flag representing Memorial Day. Seems appropriate. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a flag to my liking. And here, keyword search is crucial because you could be here forever trying to find the perfect flag. As you saw in the training, we just couldn't get my hands on the perfect flag. But I'm going to go ahead and use my snipping tool, which I taught you about on PCs. It's called snipping tool. I'm not sure with other devices, but there is always a way to print your screen and save the picture. So you got to kind of figure that out. So I'm going to capture this flag and then I'm going to save it into my files. Save as. We're going to go to pictures. I happen to have a picture file. Some of you mentioned you have flash drive. Your flash drive, when plugged in, would come up here. Okay, so wherever you save your things, it works the same. You just go on and find it. We're going to save this as US flag. So now I know when I go back to my page, I'm looking for US flag. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm bringing in an image. So we already know this tool. We're not linking it yet. We're just bringing in an image. So we know how to do that. We're going to browse our computer. I usually stick with medium. As you saw in the previous training, large tends to get a little distorted, or you can custom size it yourself. But that's trial and error. You got to go back and forth to find the perfect size if you're going to customize. Okay. US flag. I'm going to go to pictures because that's where I saved it. Okay, sorry about that. My machine's not cooperating today. All right, we're going to continue and we're going to say US flag. This is not naming the link. This is not naming the picture. This is only telling the machine, the program, the teacher page, that you're saving it as US flag inside of the program. So it has nothing to do, it's just irrelevant really, but it won't take it unless you name it. So we're going to go ahead and put the flag in there. So now I want them, when they tap here, I want their video here, correct? I want them to go to BrainPop Junior and I want them to find their video. So I'm going to tap on that video, that picture, excuse me. And now I'm telling it, just like I did here, I'm applying a link to text. Now I'm applying a link to a picture, okay? I'm applying a link to a picture. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it, listen, I want a link to this picture. And here is the web address that I want the students to go to when they tap on that picture. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to capture that link. Okay, whatever link it is. I'm just using BrainPop as an example. Maybe you want them to go to Raz Kids. Maybe you want them to go to iReady. Whatever you want them to do, Khan Academy, whatever resource you're using, whatever link you're using, plug that in. Okay, so we're going to come back. We're going to plug that in. I am not naming it because it's not text. I already told it it's going to a picture. So this is irrelevant right now. We're not naming it. We want it to go on to the picture, which we've already selected prior to bringing in the link, the web address. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And now, again, as I save, we're going to go in real time back to where we were before. Okay. I'm going to go to teacher pages. I'm going to refresh because that is ultimately the key. We want to refresh because it's going off of the old view. I'm going to go to playground and I'm just going to give a look. So there is my lesson plans, grades 3 through 6 activities. Watch your video here. Boom. And there it goes back to BrainPop. Again, that can be any site of your liking.